Dear friends, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. And this Shabbos we'll be reading the Torah portion of Balak. And Balak, the king of Moab, where the Jews on their way to Israel were camping on his border, was very afraid that the Jewish people will destroy him. He didn't know that the Jewish people were told that none of their relatives, Moab, Ammon, the children of Lot, the descendants of Lot, Abraham's nephew, nor Edom, the descendants of Esav, none of these people were supposed to be engaged in battle. But Balak was afraid, and he hired this great prophet amongst the Gentiles who used his incredible gift from God just to enrich himself and not to do any positive or productive things for the world. And he was hired to curse the Jewish people. And what happened that unfolds in our portion is, as he was brought to look at the people that Balak really wanted to curse and to say, don't you hate them as much as I do? And Bilam truly did hate them. There was a lot of anti-Semitism then as well. But somehow he couldn't bring himself to curse, because whatever he saw overwhelmed him. And God obviously told him that you can't curse. And he ended up blessing, and some of the best blessings in the Torah for the Jewish people is in this week's Torah portion. And I just want to point out one thing, one verse, where it says, Lo hibit oven b'Yakov. I have not seen any evil, which is explained as idolatry in Jacob, in the Jewish people. V'leira amal b'Yisrael. And I have not seen any transgression or any dishonesty or any dishonest person amongst the Jewish people. And he uses the name Israel, which is the higher name of Jacob when we refer to the Jews in a higher state. And the question is, what do you mean I didn't see any dishonest people amongst the Jews? Is every Jew honest? I hear all the time people say, I know someone who's dishonest and they're Jewish. Just because they're Jewish, they're honest. And the truth is, not necessarily. There are many Jews who may be dishonest, or there are Jews, I don't know, many. So what does it mean I didn't see any dishonest people? And here, Bilam was telling us a tremendous truth. Is God not see the whole picture? Does God just overlook dishonesty and say, I don't see it? And the answer is absolutely not. God is the judge, and he judges with justice, and he sees everything as it is. But here we see how Bilam says how God separates the person from the action. There's dishonesty even amongst Jews. Sure, there are people who do wrong things, but there's no dishonest person. If we dig deep into the person, we find that they're not really inherently dishonest. They're not really inherently bad. They're not really inherently evil. They're not transgressors. You know, in Hebrew, when someone does a sin, we call them a Baal Aveira, the owner of a sin. It's as if it's an asset. An asset is not you. It's something you own. And it could be taken away from you, or it could disown it, or it doesn't belong to you anymore at some point, because a sin never becomes you. If we look at a person, when God looks at a person, he sees the goodness, he sees the inside of every single one of us, of every single human being, and especially his people, the Jewish people. And he says, that's what I look at. I look at who is the person. Yes, the person may have been dishonest, and yes, may have done something wrong. Yes, they may even have worshipped idols, but that's not the definition of who they are. They are something good. They're something special. And it's fascinating that when you really want to know who we are as a people, don't go to the Jews themselves. We talk ourselves down. We're the most cynical. We're the most self-destructive people in terms of the way we talk about ourselves and our positions in life and in the world, and individually and collectively. Go talk to those outside of us, the Gentiles, and even our enemies, because they look at us and they see, and that's what bothers them. There's something unique and special, that there's a goodness in us even when someone is dishonest. But yet, as the Talmud says, when the thief stands by the door ready to break in, he prays to God, please help me. Deep inside, they do believe in God. Deep inside, we all believe in God. Deep inside, we're all good. And Bilam said, don't look at what they are today. Look at, in essence, who they are. And that's why I cannot curse them. They're good people. And at some point, that goodness will come out. And that is what we, as parents, as educators, as teachers, as friends, as colleagues, as children, as spouses, we must always remember this. God doesn't see a dishonest person. He sees a person who was dishonest, but not a dishonest person. And that's what we have to train ourselves to see in other people. Because when you see another person that way, that helps change that person to stop being dishonest as well. So I think this is a great message for all of us to take into our lives, especially in a world where everyone's constantly judging each other and quickly labeling others. And remember, God loves you all. God bless you. We love every one of you as a dear brother and sister. And have a Shabbat Shalom. Candlelighting time in Montreal, 8:21 p.m.